back to this episode of Fireside Chat. In this episode, we're going to be talking about the hardships and the benefits of homesteading. One of the biggest hardships I've found to homesteading is being far away from town. You find a piece of land way out in the middle of nowhere that you can afford, like I did. Here, 2.5 acres I got for $2,000. But I'm 42 miles away from a Walmart. I'm 42 miles away from a Home Depot. So what do? Well, in my case, I always write down lists. I try to write everything that I need, and I try to remember everything to get on my first trip. However, there are circumstances that you will be spending a lot of gas money driving back and forth to accomplish your tasks and your goals. When I installed the hot water heater, as you can see in an earlier video, I got it mounted on the wall, and what you don't see in that video is as soon as I mounted it on the wall, I had to go to Home Depot, 42 miles away. Apparently, they changed the adapting threads from a 1/2 inch for the propane line to 3/4 inch on the on-demand hot water heater. So I had to turn around, go all the way to town, and get a 98-cent part from Home Depot to change the threads from 1/2 inch to 3/4. Without that propane line, hot water heater doesn't run. Without the hot water heater running, there are no showers. So that was my option. Go another week until I go back to town and don't have showers for another week, or run to town for a 98-cent part, spending about $12 in gas round trip to get the part so I could enjoy a hot shower that night. That's what I chose to do. If you're making a pie, or you're making a dinner, or you're doing some type of craft project, if you forget one item, the point of you either do it without that item or ingredient, or you go ahead and go right back to town and get what you need so you can get the project done the right way. Living so far away from town is not always a hardship. The benefits you have are you don't have neighbors as close. For me, I have about 3 full-time neighbors in a 1/2 mile distance, and then I have 2 neighbors that are only come out here on weekends or holidays. So that bumps it up to 5 people in a 1/2 mile distance. You don't have burglaries and break-ins. Out here, pretty much everybody has a gun. Everybody knows that the cops take too long to respond. It's about an 1.5 to 2 hour response time for the police to show up if something happens. So we don't have the burglaries. We don't have the break-ins. If you have a sign posted in your window that says this is a gun-free house, you have a higher opportunity of being broken into. If you're going to break into somebody's house, you're going to break in where you know you're not going to get shot. Out here, that's not the case. Another benefit is with the police being so far away, you don't have police sirens. You don't have fire truck sirens. You don't have ambulance sirens. You don't have people partying with loud music and everything like that. Another benefit is the peace and quietness. Everybody that's come out here to visit the homestead and either stay for a night or for a week, that's the number one thing they say. They have a hard time falling asleep. One of the best things about living out here is how quiet it is. Most people from the city, they're used to some type of noise, a noisy neighbor, a horn going off, a siren passing by, a train passing by, airplanes, helicopters, you name it, you have it in the city. Not out here. The most noise I have, which is another hardship of homesteading, are animals. You have roosters that will crow all hours. Most people think it's just in the morning at sunrise, but that's not so. roosters will crow 24 hours a day. Most of the time, once they bed down for night, they won't crow. But the hardship of homesteading with animals is 1:30 in the morning, your roosters, goats, everything goes off. So what do? Do you continue sleeping and possibly wake up in the morning to a bunch of dead animals? Or do you wake up and go outside like I do? Some nights the animals scared because of the wind. Some nights it's because something's moving around. If you don't check on your animals, you could lose your animals. Some nights I'm up every half hour to an hour. Other nights I don't hear anything all night long. One of the added benefits I got now, I got Anatolian Shepherds. They are livestock guard dogs. I will say the hardship with them would be I've had them for about 3 months now, and I'm still breaking them of killing chickens and rabbits. For some reason, chickens and rabbits are like gigantic squeaky toys for these dogs. But so far, since I've had Minnie Mouse outside, she's only killed 1 chicken in 7 days. So it's starting to sink through to her, and she's learning not to kill animals. The benefit of having a livestock guard dog is with the coyotes and the mountain lions that we have out here, and the lynx and the bobcats and the bears. Right now, I only have 4 worries. I have lynx, bobcat, coyotes, actually 5. A wolf and a mountain lion. The bears are in hibernation right now. With the wolves and the coyotes, they cannot make it over my fence. So they're not as much of a concern. They come up to the side of the fence. I've seen them several mornings now. I wake up and they're laying right outside the fence line. The dogs don't bother the coyotes if they're laying there not doing anything. But in the middle of the night, when the coyotes are out there howling and carrying on, the dogs are, of course, barking. Which at this point, with the dogs barking, unless both of them are going berserk, I don't go out and check anymore because they're just barking at the coyotes, keeping the coyotes back. I've found that when both dogs are barking crazy, that means there's a mountain lion. I had a mountain lion about a month and a week ago, and I also had one, I think it was either 3 or 4 nights ago. I've had my 3rd lion now. And the dogs have kept the lions from getting inside of the enclosure, and they had the lions stay until I get out there with my spotlight. Once I beam that spotlight on the lion takes off, and it looks like it took a month and a week for the lion to come back unless it was a different lion. The benefits of having animals, you have fresh eggs. You have fresh meat. When you're gardening, you have fresh veggies. If you look at my garden videos, I have green beans. I was just upstairs. I picked, I think, 4 green beans today out of my 5 plants. So it's fresh vegetables. I also ate some beet leaves. And I'll be doing a garden update video probably in the next 4 to 5 days because I got my first flowers starting on my bell pepper plants. And it looks like I'll be getting my first flowers on my tomato plants. A lot of people come up with the idea of homesteading because they think it's a glamorous lifestyle. It can be, but it can also be hard. One of the things you gotta realize, which it's funny because I was gonna make this video I think 3 or 4 days ago, and I didn't. And it seems every time I make a video, or I have an idea of making a video, Appalachia's Homestead always makes the video that I'm going to make. I don't know what it is about her, but she hits on the points that I've made in my videos, or she hits on the points that I've been wanting to make on a video. And it's kind of cool to see certain people hit on the same things that I'm doing, and we're all in the same mindset, and you can see who the true homesteaders are. because the true homesteaders know what's going on. They know how things are happening. And another YouTube person that I watch is the Big Family Homestead. And they are also a great channel to watch. The person that got me into homesteading was Pastor Dow, A Straightway Truth. A lot of people talk about how he's got a cult and he's crazy, things like that. I don't agree on all the religious things that they talk about, but in the videos that he makes on chickens and gardens and how to invest money and things to better the homestead are spot on. Pastor Dow and Straightway community out there in Lafayette, Tennessee have an amazing homestead. They have an amazing community. And I've been out there twice now. I've met Pastor Dow in person. And everything he says on YouTube is spot on. You go to his community, if they allow you to. You got to ask them in advance and schedule with them. But I went out there and they have giant greenhouses. They have chickens. They raise like 200 chickens every 3 or 4 months and slaughter. And they do a big chicken day for a couple days, and that feeds the community. They have a fish pond. They have cows. They have fruit trees and orchards and vineyards. It's amazing what they've done. And that's one of the things you will see me doing over the next 10 years to become totally self-sufficient, totally self-reliant. This year will be my biggest year ever. I got all my animals about 4 months ago, between 4 months ago to 2 months ago. And then this spring, I'll be doing my first gardening outside. Yes, I have my small garden upstairs, but that's small in comparison to how big we're going to go. What I'm going to show you this year is how you can take your garden and feed your animals for multiple months and not have to buy feed. So with me, I'm spending $200 to $250 a month in feed for the animals. And I'm going to turn several months this year into saving that money. So I'll be able to take that $200, $250 a month, roll it into a chicken plucker. Once I get a chicken plucker, I'll be able to start harvesting my own meat this year, which will decrease the amount of animals I have. So I'm not feeding as much, so that when the feed bill comes back, it won't be as much of a hardship. And then the benefit of me homesteading is I'll have fresh meat, fresh veggies this year. Another thing you want to look at for homesteading is your time. Yesterday, when I was fencing, I put on almost 5,800 wire ties on my fencing. I ran out of all my clips. Most people, if you're living in the city and you're living the 9-to-5 job, come Friday night, you're at the bar, you're at the gym, you go out to dinner, you go on vacation to the beach. That's going to be your new hardship. When you decide to homestead, that goes out the window. When you decide to have animals, that goes out the window. And what's even worse, like Appalachia's Homestead said yesterday in the video that I was thinking about, is she's got milk cows and milk goats. If you decide you want to get into milking goats and milking cows, which I will be getting milk goats possibly this year, if not, it will be 2018 when I get the pigs and the honeybees. But you have to milk those animals twice a day. Either 6 in the morning and 6 at night, or 7 in the morning and 7 at night. You're going to have to decide. If you do not milk your animals, that will cause your animals discomfort. And I forget what she said that they get, but they can get something that can eventually kill them from being bloated with too much milk. Also, if you stop milking your goats and cows or whatnot, then they stop producing as much milk year after year. If you continue to milk twice a day or 3 times a day, they will produce more and more milk. One of the things I'm looking at doing is gardening I'm going to take the garden. I'm going to feed the goats. The goats will produce milk. The milk will feed my pigs. The pigs will feed me. The scraps from the butcher will get boiled and fed to the chickens. That is fat and protein. Fat and protein for chickens is really good for eggs. The chickens will also get veggies from the garden like the goats. Then the chickens lay eggs. You hard boil the eggs, you feed the pigs. So you got milk, veggies, and eggs feeding your pigs. Your pigs grow for free. Your chickens are eating the vegetables. They're eating the cooked pork and fat. Your chickens eat for free. Between the chicken meat, the eggs, the goat meat, the goat milk, the pig meat, and I'm going to have yams and potatoes, I can make my own dog food. My Anatolian Shepherds will be eating approximately 100 to 125 pounds of food a month per dog. So that works out to, I think, $150 a month when they're full grown at 160 to 150 pounds. That 160 or 100 to $150 a month is in my pocket. That goes into the next homestead. That's the benefit of homesteading. If you're in the city, you have dogs, you have animals, you have to buy food. When you're homesteading, you can set everything up in a circle of life like an ecosystem. It's hard work in the beginning. You're going to see over the next 10 years, I put a lot of time, a lot of effort into my homestead. Yes, I want to be a lazy homesteader. Yes, I'm going to teach you how to be a lazy homesteader. But what you have to realize is it's not lazy homesteading from day one. From day one, you're going to be breaking your back, you're going to be sweating at the brow, and you're going to be blistering your hands. You're going to have tears, you're going to have blood, you're going to have sweat. But the added benefit is you put that hard time in, like the fencing yesterday. I've spent, I think, 5 days now on this new section of fencing. If it wasn't snowing today, I would finish the fence up today. But that's the added benefit of homesteading. If it's raining, yes, you can go out and work with ponchos and military Gore-Tex and rainproof gear. But for me, I'm lazy. I don't want to do that. So like today it's snowing. I don't want to be in the cold. I don't want to get wet. I'm staying here by the fire, make a fireside chat video, watch my YouTube videos, and try to grow my Today's Homesteader channel. As a negative for working a 9-to-5 job, you go to work, you work an hour. Out of that hour at work, you gain somewhere between 30 to 40% of that hour. You lose a third, if not more, of that hour to taxes. Gone. Then you lose another section, say 10%, to vehicle maintenance, car insurance, gas, work clothes, things like that. Then you lose another 10% for commute. Some people have a 5-minute commute, which is nice. Others have a 2-hour commute to work. That is a hardship. The benefit side, if you homestead, I put in 8 or 9 hours of fencing yesterday. I actually went on past the video I made. But of that 8 to 9 hours of me working, I gained 100% of the work. Same thing with anything you do with homesteading. If you're out cutting down a tree, the whole hour you're working is a whole hour of firewood you're gaining to keep your house warm with a fire. moving rainwater into your cistern. That gives you water for flushing toilets, taking showers, cooking dinners, washing dishes, watering animals. The hardship to homesteading is simply that. When you're in the city, you flick a switch, your heat comes on. You flick a switch, your lights come on. You turn the faucet on, the water comes on. The hardship with homesteading, you don't have that. Unless you have a bunch of money and you can throw money and time and everything into it right off the bat, you won't have that. You're going to have to build slow. I went approximately a year and a half without plumbing. I went just over 2 years without electricity minus the generator. The just over 2 years was until I had solar, where I had electricity on a regular basis. Another hardship with the homesteading is the simple fact that I have to go move water. Right now, my tanks, I have, I think, 465 gallons of water. Minus the snow today, I'm going to have more water in my tanks. But I got to get out there and move the water. After a rainstorm, I've got to move the water. If I don't move the water, my tanks overflow. I lose that water. And in the winter, when water is very scarce, or late summer, when we go into the drought part of the season, I don't have water. If you don't have water, you have to buy water. You have to have water hauled to your property. That costs money. The whole goal is not to have money spent on utilities, not to have money spent on food, not to have money spent on groceries, not to have money spent on firewood and things like that. The added benefit, because I move my water, I don't have a water bill. Because I installed solar, I don't have an electric bill. Because I built my own septic system, I don't have a sewer bill. So therefore, most people had the hardship living in the city of, $150, $200 a month electric and gas bill. They have a $50 water bill. They have a $25 sewer bill. All these things add up. Then you're up to $2,000 a month in expenses with a mortgage and rent and car payments and car insurance and cell phone. And homesteading, you cut all that out. The only bills that I can't cut out is I have a very low propane bill. I spend, I think it's like 89 to 92 cents a month on my propane. And the propane is used on the hot water heater, my propane dryer, and my propane stove and oven. My generator, I do use approximately, I would say $2 a month in propane on that generator, because I'm not running the generator except when I'm running power tools, or like today when it was cloudy, I ran my generator for 3 hours to recharge my batteries on my solar system. But the other bills I can't get rid of are cell phone and car insurance. Cell phone, yes, I could get rid of cell phone and not deal with cell phone. But the problem is, I'm from back east in Maryland, and all my family is back east. So that's my one form of communication besides these videos and my Facebook account. So getting rid of cell phone when it's only $48 a month, straight talk through Walmart for unlimited everything, why bother? It's $48. I can handle that. I live on $1,000 a month. One of the things, the hardships with homesteading is you have to come up with money. If you don't have a job and you move out to the woods like I did, and you don't have a steady source of income like me, you're going to have to find ways of making money. The benefit of homesteading, you can raise chickens and sell chickens. On Craigslist out here in Colorado, if you have an egg-laying chicken that's laying eggs, you can get up to $30 for that one chicken. So if you raise 100 chickens, $30 a chicken. If you don't have any death, which you're going to find out as a homesteader, I bought 50 medium-sized pullets. They were about 4 months old. It's going to take them until, I think, April or May until they're laying eggs. But out of that 50, I lost one on the way home. It got smothered. I lost one in the fence. It got caught during the day. By the time I got out there in the evening to feed and everything, the chicken had died. I've lost a couple that got over the fence and coyotes got. And then, of course, training my livestock guard dogs, my Anatolian Shepherds. They've killed multiple of them. So at $6 a chicken that I paid, I lost probably a good $50, $60, if not more. You're going to have some loss, but you can sell chickens. You can sell baby chicks. You can sell vegetables when you're gardening. You can sell chicken eggs. What I'm going to do with pigs, I'm going to have 3 to 4 pigs. One will be for me. That will get butchered. I will give the butcher a free pig for butchering my pig. And I'll either sell the 2 other pigs to the butcher, or I'll find somebody that wants fresh pig meat and sell the pigs to them. So there's all different ways and benefits to taking care of the hardships. I'm thinking that's about it for the hardships and the benefits. You're just going to have to look at, in the beginning, it's going to take you time, effort, blood, sweat, and tears. But in the long run, which everybody can't get their mind on, everybody's looking at the gratification of now, now, now. Such as, this year I'm going to plant my fruit trees. I'm planting fruit trees now, and it takes 4.5 to 5 years up here at my elevation to get fruit. So everybody wants to plant a fruit tree, go out tomorrow and pick an apple off of the tree. Homesteading is not that. If you are looking for that quick gratification, I recommend you stay in the city. You get that 6-figure job and you go buy what you want. If you want to work your life until you're 80 or 90, blow money on alcohol, drugs, cigarettes, partying, gambling, traveling, then that's your lifestyle. I was into that. I realize now, after homesteading for 5.5 years now, that it's taken me 5.5 years to finally get to where I'm growing my homestead. I finally have animals. This year I'll have my garden. But I've learned through homesteading, there's less stress, more comforts like a wood stove, more peace like looking at the mountains, and more beauty like laying outside, listening to the coyotes howl, looking at the stars, stars that you can't see in the city. I can see the whole Milky Way. And a way to enjoy life. In the city, you don't have that. Somebody could offer me $1 million a year right now. I would turn that down. I don't think I'll ever move off of this mountain. And I think after this homestead is complete in 10 years, you will see one thing that you should have done and one thing I should have done many years, many decades ago. I hope you guys can find happiness. I hope you guys can find a stress-free environment. And hopefully you decide to homestead and enjoy this journey with me. And maybe if you can't homestead and you can't get away from that city and you can't get away from that 9-to-5 job, hopefully you can at least find a little bit of peace and comfort of these videos and show you something that you can enjoy. With that, I'm going to bid everybody a farewell and I hope everybody has a good day. Enjoy. Live happy, live free. That's the only way to be.